Good morning. It is just after 6:30, Friday morning, January 7th, 2022. Literally my first experience with the new Blizzak tires, and you're gonna ride along with me as I discover them. All right, we've gotten about anywhere between 2 and 4 inches. It's still falling, but not a lot. So this shouldn't be much of a challenge as far as being too deep, but we'll see how the traction is when braking and accelerating and turning. Let's go to work. Yeah, we've probably got about 2, maybe 3 inches based on what I'm seeing here. So last year I had the I think they were Pirelli, the Pirelli Sottozero Serie II. They were wider and they were on my 19-inch wheels. They were older, so the rubber was a little harder, a little bit less tread because they were used probably a season or so. They were also a performance-oriented tire. This is a standard winter tire, so it should fare better. My neighbor's already left for work today. This is one test sometimes about how much traction tires have, because I have to stop here at the end of my driveway to look for cars. A little bit of wheel spin there. Alright, so there is some wheel spin, which is kind of expected. It's 2-wheel drive in the snow, but the winter tires help me get going pretty easily. So I've been driving on these Blizzaks for probably about 3,000 miles now, in cold and dry throughout December, and we've been seeing average temperatures of, in the low to mid 30s, sometimes in the 40s, some dry, some rain, and they've pretty much performed like I would expect them to, similar to an all season in those scenarios. A little bit squishier tread compound on the dry days. A little bit noisier, of course, than some tires because of the tread design, but that's to be expected. I kind of also love being that weird guy that people look at when they're driving to work in their SUVs on a day like today, thinking, why is that idiot out driving a sports car? But you know what? You don't have to put it away just because there's white stuff on the ground. Like I expected, this is just a wet, slushy road, so this won't be a problem. Typically it's getting out of the driveway and then traveling down our road, so it's going to be a relatively boring commute. The ironic thing is that 2 cars in front of me is an SUV, and he's the one that's going the slowest. Even though I guarantee you they bought their car because they need to have all-wheel drive for the snow like today. Frustrating. This is one thing people don't think about when they have all-season tires, is this is a decent downhill grade, and it can get really slick sometimes if it hasn't been treated, or if you get some mixed conditions. This is really where winter tires show what they're worth in situations like this, because with an all-season tire you're going to have a difference in confidence, because it's going to be squirming and you're going to really be worried about, do I have enough traction, am I going to slide off the side of the road? Winter tires are just going to give you that little bit of extra. It's one of those things you really can't describe to someone who's never driven on winter tires, just where the advantages are. You have to drive on them yourself. This Toyota SUV that's so afraid to drive in the car that they bought for days like this now is a train of about 8 cars behind it. All right. Let's go. Hello. Welcome, crazy guy. You can see the roads are clear, so it's just going to be wet and a little slushy. Yeah, these are pretty well treated. They're just wet. For these tires, it's basically just like a cold, rainy day. It's also one of those places braking downhill around the corner. That's really when you want the confidence. It's not so big of a deal with the current road surface. It's definitely beneficial in other situations. Thanks for joining me on this commute to work. Let me know what questions you might have about, you know, just these winter tires in general or anything else really. Leave them a comment below. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Keep an eye out for more content like this. I'll be reviewing my wife's tires as well at some point in bad weather, and just more long-term updates on the Cayman. I'll check back with you soon.